Hey everybody, the new body for guitar number 3 is out of the paint shop. It got 4 coats of acrylic and it's ready for sand and polish. So taking a close look at what we got here, this acrylic goes on real thin, like water almost, especially when you've got the stuff nice and warm. There's just the slightest hint of runs. I don't know if the camera will even pick it up, which are not really that visible because the stuff was so thin on, especially the 4th coat. The first coat, it's almost like a sealer and kind of soaks in. But yeah, so there's just a little hint of run. I think there it's picking up a little bit. And then it's also got just a slight bit of orange peel to it, just very slight. So I'm going to go ahead and hit it up with some 1000 grit and then see what it looks like then. And from there it might be ready to polish. I'm not worried about getting a glass smooth kind of surface on it. I just want to I'll just see what 1000 grit does for it. Maybe I should go down in grit. Something more like a 600. It's pretty smooth. It's not flat level yet, but it's pretty smooth. Well, I guess 1000 will work. Yeah, that stuff's rather smooth to begin with. So yeah, let's just smooth it out a little bit. This'll do. Okay, I stepped down to 400 grit and then stepped back up to 1000. And everything's sanded and ready to polish. Okay, all done with this stuff. And just not to clean off the residue. Okay, all these tuners are loose and all the washers have come off the front, so they're going to have to basically be reinstalled. This is what happens when you go from a standard tuner to a what's essentially a banjo tuner, the lightweight tuners, the ultra lightweight stuff. These have been fixed. Yeah, these had the tabs cut off. They're ultra lightweights. So yeah, so this is what happens, and essentially you gotta like CA glue the back and CA glue the washer. This is where you're at. So time to do that again. What I'll do is I'll pull these off and clean this whole thing up. Come here, bag. Finish on this is lacquer, so Windex should be safe. Can't use it on shellac. It's got alcohol in it, it'll dissolve the shellac. We'll just get it cleaned up here. Neck's already pretty clean. This headstock though. Not as bad as it looked, just light dust basically. Now for a bit of wax. What that's going to do is it's going to make the clear coat on it appear more smooth and even. And it's also going to increase the gloss level slightly. If you look at like this one, you can see it's a little bit shinier. And yeah, if you also, and the fact that it decreases, you can see here that almost all of the surface imperfections in the clear coat have disappeared. It's not quite looking mirror smooth, but it's pretty close now. They're much less noticeable than they were. There you can see them a little bit. But yes, much less noticeable. Now the way to actually get this perfectly smooth is you'd probably go like 6 coats of acrylic instead of 4 because it's not really high build. And then you'd simply block wet sand it until it was all mirror smooth and glass smooth, and then polish. USP grade mineral oil. So the next bit's going to be kind of tricky. Yeah, you can see on this one pretty good. See the ring here right around the hole? That's the area where the glue goes. So not a whole lot of room to work with. I think I can just barely do it with this, but I might have to actually use a toothpick. So let me see how this goes first. I did a little test on a piece of paper, and I think I can lay a thin enough bead as long as I'm always coming at it from the inside of the hole. And last time I just used a little there and a little there kind of a thing, and apparently it wasn't quite enough, so. Alright, here comes the glue. And apparently the stuff does gravity feed out of the bottle, so there we go. That's the kind of thing I want. Give me a washer. Now if I can get this on without getting it stuck to my fingers. I'm just going to drop it in and I think that's it, pretty much. Got some squeeze out here. But yeah, that's the basic idea. Now on the tuners here, I have to be careful not to get glue right up against the peg, because that will cause the thing to seize up. So just a little bit here, maybe a little bit there, and a little bit there, kind of a thing. Outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside. Right about like that. I use this in order to gently tap them by hand. And then I just kind of touched them with the end of this thing right quick, just to make sure that everything was going to get started where they're glued in now. Need a screwdriver. That's one, and it still turns. Okay, this thing's got a bit of fret sprout, so I think dealing with that is going to be next. Pretty much all the oil soaked in, just a little extra left on like 1 through 12, so just wipe it off. Give the tape a fighting chance of sticking. Does look nice though. Once you polish it up. That one hasn't been polished. That has. Okay, it's only the very corners here. Is this showing up? Yeah, it's these corners at the bottom. That's the only part that's an issue, but it's all along the fretboard. So, fret in dressing file with the flat side down is probably the appropriate weapon for this task, so to speak. And just kind of gently bring it around. I can feel when it's cutting, when the teeth are cutting. And that took care of it right there. So now I just repeat that. Let's see, 24, 48. So there's 96 corners total. And I just did one, so 95 to go. Save some tape, you can peel it off and move it down to the next one. You can usually get like 3 frets from a couple pieces of tape that way, and then use some fresh tape for the next set of frets. In my case, the fretboard is still oily, not real oily, but freshly oiled, so tape probably doesn't stick as well to it. It still sticks sort of, at least on inlays. And so yeah, I'm going around on sticking it kind of to the neck really. And just wrap it around like that and on to the next 4. So I got 3 frets using these edges of the tape, since I'm using this wide stuff, I was able to peel it off and just flip it around and start using the other side. I'll get like 6 frets out of these 2 pieces of tape. So 8 pieces of tape total, and I can mask the entire fretboard basically. Well, I've been thinking about it. I'm already 2/3 of the way through, so I'm not going to do it on this neck. But I know the neck on the aged hardware build, which is also slated for a new body because it's got a cracked heel. Got a crack like right about there. It also has fret sprout, and for the effort and time I'm spending on this and the small extra effort it would take to add, let me go get them, to add these 2 files to the mix, a quarter round and a half round concave. And so yeah, like this one is not done yet. So first I'd come in and hit the bottoms the way I'm doing now. And then sometimes that leaves a little bit, so I bring this over a bit and do a little bit of angled work on it. But that's about it. But you see that after that, you wouldn't worry about the angle work because that would be taken care of by this, which would come in, same idea. And then this guy finishes it off. Where are we at here? Yeah, this way. And you can pretty much round the fret end entirely. What I'm doing here with this guy is basically just doing the bottom part of the fret ends, and I'm not rounding the rest of it. But that's, that's all you really need. The rest of it would be more bling than anything. I mean, these are liquid gold to a player, so that's what you're looking for. Okay, I'm gonna finish up here with a little 600, just kind of like run it across the ends kind of a thing, in order to just take that very end of the center down a bit, because that's about the only thing that's left. All the rest of this has been filed, so just kind of put it on, lean it over till I feel I'm touching the frets. And this might have a bit of a polishing effect on the ends as well. 600's pretty fine, so. Yeah, it looks like it might be polishing them up a bit. Oh yeah, there you go. We're getting way of dirt. Yeah, a little bit of dirt. And same idea on the other side. Get it to the point where it's just touching the ends of the frets. Slowly move the paper around so you try to stay on fresh sandpaper. That should do it. Fortunately, this first one's still feeling a little rough. I'm gonna put my file. Little instant fret guard here. That's a little better. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And I think that's going to do it. Oh yeah, there we go. All fixed. All fixed. Even down here. Even down here. Sweet. Yep, player stream once again. Okay, so here's what we ended up with. If we can get it to focus. 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 I can't get it to focus. Not that good. Let's see what we can get it to do here. This camera is worthless. There we go. Just got to be patient. Okay, so yeah. This is what we're looking at. As you can see, it's like the beginning of doing hemispherical end, but they're not totally hemispherical. The worst part of them is gone though. So they're nigh on their way towards being hemispherical. Okay, we're at half an hour. I'm gonna stop it here and pick up with the actual beginning of assembly on the next episode. So until then, everybody have a good one, and see you in the funny papers.